A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapienza on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Thursday, the 14th of August, 2025. My name is Joe Igbo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the federal government has approved the establishment of 9 new private universities across the country. Dangote Refinery has again reduced the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit, PMS, commonly referred to as Petrol, from 850 naira to 820 naira per litre. The federal government says it has commenced a 3-day citizens engagement tour of Enugu and Ebonyi states in the southeast, aimed at showcasing ongoing and completed infrastructure projects in the area. And the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has disclosed that about 909,744 registered voters will be voting during the senatorial and State House of Assembly by-elections in Anambra State on Saturday, August 16. Now the details of the news. The federal government has approved the establishment of 9 new private universities across the country. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, announced the approval yesterday while briefing State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja. He said the newly approved institutions are Tazkiya University, Kaduna State, Leadership University, Abuja, Jimo Babalola University, Kwara State, Bridget University, Mbaise, Imo State, Greenland University, Jigawa State, Jeff Fab University, Niger State, Azione Ved University, Imo State, Unique Open University, Lagos State, and American Open University, Ogun State. Allows has explained that many of the approved universities had been awaiting accreditation for over 6 years, with their promoters having already built campuses and invested billions of naira. In another development, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) has approved a 5-year ban on the establishment of new federal institutions across the country. The decision was taken at the Council's meeting chaired by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday. The ban, which covers universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, is aimed at halting the proliferation of institutions and focusing on improving existing ones. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, said the unchecked proliferation of institutions across the country has caused deterioration in infrastructure and manpower, with marked declines in educational quality. The minister said the moratorium on establishing new federal tertiary institutions is a decisive step to address the inefficiencies in the sector. He explained that government will channel resources into upgrading existing institutions, improving infrastructure and manpower, and expanding the capacity of universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education already in operation. Still on education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has announced plans to begin the screening of over 500 exceptional candidates below 16 years of age seeking admission into tertiary institutions for the 2025-2026 academic session between September 22 and 26. The board said the screening will be done by a special technical committee it has set up. It also said 3 venues have been selected for the screening, namely Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri, Imo State. The JAMB registrar, Professor Ishak Oloede, said these were among the resolutions reached during yesterday's virtual meeting of the board. He said Lagos will host 397 candidates, Owerri 136, and Abuja 66. Oloede announced that of the 41,027 underage candidates who sat for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME), more than 40,000 did not scale the first hurdle. The registrar explained that the screening is meant to ensure that only exceptional and well-prepared underage candidates gain admission for the 2025-2026 session. During the meeting, a subcommittee chaired by Professor Tawhid Adedoja observed that candidates would face subject-specific tests that would be followed by a brief oral interview. The committee also resolved to request the result details from the West African Examination Council (WAEC) to verify the eligibility of some shortlisted candidates before they appear for the interviews. JAMB said that of the 1.9 million candidates who sat for this year's UTME nationwide, 599 scored above 300 but fell below the minimum admission age of 16, prompting the creation of the screening committee. The policy aligns with the Federal Ministry of Education's directive that sets 16 as the minimum entry age for tertiary institutions. The initiative is designed to ensure that candidates admitted are mentally and psychologically prepared for the demands of higher education. Comfort Emmanson, the passenger accused of unruly behavior and assault on board an Ibom air flight, has been set free. The presiding judge of an Ikeja Magistrate Court, Olaniwaju Salami, sitting in Oba, Lagos, struck out the 5-count charge against Emmanson after the police formally withdrew the case. Emmanson was charged for disrupting the peace on board the flight, assaulting a crew member and conducting herself in a manner capable of breaching public order, of which she had pleaded not guilty at her arraignment. During the court proceedings, Oluwabumi Adeyton, the police prosecutor, informed the court that the complainant and the airline were no longer interested in pursuing the matter and thereby applied for the withdrawal of the case, citing instructions from the police authorities. Magistrate Salami granted the request and ordered Emmanson discharged in line with the application. Dangote Refinery has again reduced the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit, or PMS, commonly referred to as petrol, from 850 naira to 820 naira per litre. The Dangote Group Chief Branding and Communications Officer, Anthony Chejina, issued a statement announcing the 30 naira per litre reduction, effective from Tuesday, August 12, 2025. The refinery also noted that it would commence the phased deployment of 4,000 compressed natural gas or CNG-powered trucks for fuel distribution across Nigeria, effective Friday, August 15, 2025. The federal government said it has commenced a 3-day citizens engagement tour of Enugu and Ebonyi states in the southeast, aimed at showcasing ongoing and completed infrastructure projects in the area. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this at a party with media executives and influencers in Enugu, saying the move is aimed at fostering direct dialogue with local stakeholders. The minister was represented at the event by the ministry's permanent secretary, Chinasa Obodo. Obodo said the delegation, which includes officials from the Federal Ministry of Information and its agencies, members of the National Communications team, and executives from the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Union of Journalists, will tour ongoing and commissioned projects in Enugu from Thursday, 14th August 2025. Obodo said the tour will be repeated in Ebonyi State on Friday, August 15, 2025. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has said it will start the continuous voter registration, or CVR, across the country on August 18 in preparation for the 2027 general elections. The exercise will take place at the various ward registration centers nationwide. According to the Commission, online pre-registration will open on August 18 via its dedicated portal at cvr.inecnigeria.org for pre-registration activities. It announced that physical in-person registration will begin a week later on August 25 and will take place across all local government area offices and designated registration centers across the country. INEC stressed that the exercise will hold from Mondays to Fridays, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 3 p.m. daily. The Commission recently concluded the CVR in Anambra State ahead of the governorship election in the state. But those who could not register during the period of the exercise in the state are expected to participate in the nationwide CVR. An Ebonyi State High Court sitting in Afikpo has sentenced 4 men to 7 years imprisonment each for conspiracy, vandalism, and stealing. Justice Nicholas E. Nwode convicted Ikechukwu Ese, Ikedinachi Uche, Okpai Godwin, and Uchenna Kalo after finding them guilty on a 3-count charge. The convicts were arrested on November 28, 2023 for attacking a 7.5 MVA injection substation belonging to the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, at Education Board Road, Afikpo, in Afikpo North Local Government Area of Ebonyi State. EEDC's Group Head, Corporate Communications, Mr. Emeka Eze, disclosed the judgment in Enugu yesterday. He said the court, citing the growing incidence of vandalism in Afikpo, sentenced the men to 5 years on count 1, 7 years on count 2, and 5 years on count 3 to run concurrently without the option of a fine. The EEDC commended the judiciary for the verdict, expressing hope that it will deter others from similar crimes. It also lauded the General Youth President and Afikpo Task Force team for their role in apprehending the vandals, describing it as a proof of strong community collaboration. Eze appealed to EEDC customers to join in protecting electricity infrastructure in their areas, noting that vandalism disrupts operations and reduces service quality. He urged residents to remain vigilant, warning that vandalism inevitably causes service failure and widespread inconvenience. The Delta State Police Commissioner CP Abaniwonda Olufemi has presented checks of 37,663,936 naira to 35 families of deceased officers who died while in active service. CP Olufemi, who presented the money on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kaide Ebetokun, said the gesture was part of the IGP Family Welfare Scheme and Group Life Assurance. He said the checks will act as a boost to the families and also a way of letting them know that the force did not forget the sacrifices of their loved ones, though they are no more. One of the beneficiaries, Ms. Chidema Paul, said the money given to them will be used judiciously. The beneficiaries expressed joy and thanked the IGP for his magnanimity. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has disclosed that about 909,744 registered voters will be voting during the Senatorial and State House of Assembly by-elections in Anambra State on Saturday, August 16. The INEC Supervising National Commissioner for Anambra, Ebonyi, and Imo States, Mr. Ken Ukeago, announced this during an interactive session with stakeholders, political parties, and candidates taking part in the election held at the INEC State Headquarters in Oka yesterday. Ukeago said the elections were part of 18 by- and rerun elections held across 13 states of the Federation following deaths or resignation of elected members and court orders. He assured that INEC is committed to ensuring that the by-elections were free, fair, credible, and peaceful. He said the by-elections will be conducted in 2 constituencies, Anambra South Senatorial District, left vacant by the death of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, and Onitsha North 1 State Constituency, also left vacant by the death of Justice Azuka. To end the Sapiencia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The federal government has approved the establishment of 9 new private universities across the country. Dangote Refinery has again reduced the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit, PMS, commonly referred to as petrol, from 850 naira to 820 naira per litre. The federal government said it has commenced a 3-day citizens engagement tour of Enugu and Ebonyi states in the southeast, aimed at showcasing ongoing and completed infrastructure projects in the area. And finally, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has disclosed that about 909,744 registered voters will be voting during the Senatorial and State House of Assembly by-elections in Anambra State on Saturday, August 16th. That was the Sapiencia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapiencia.